Everyone's talking about artificial intelligence, but no one is talking about what it's breaking. And it's not your systems, it's your clarity. Hey, welcome to Dataliction Essentials. I'm John, and this is your 10-minute download to help you think clearer, move faster, and to lead on purpose in a noisy AI world. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about something that's happening really quietly behind the scenes while everyone else is very actively chasing automation and speed and scale. That something is clarity. The louder that the market gets, the more internal confusion is multiplying. And it's not because people are lazy, not at all. It's because companies aren't stopping to ask the right questions before they start moving. They're rewarding action without alignment. They're moving for sure, but moving without, deciding. They're layering on complexity after complexity, and then they just call it progress. At the end of the day, the result is just operational drag. It's a cultural chaos, so to speak. It's when people are busy, but no one really knows why. Okay? Clarity doesn't matter when things are simple. Clarity matters when everything is moving too fast to explain. Does that make sense? Clarity matters the more you scale, the faster you go. And that's when your systems, your processes, and your people, they get all disconnected. And that is what starts to turn momentum into a mess. But let's get really honest here. Most messes don't come from a lack of intelligence at all, especially artificial. They come from a lack of intention. Okay? Most teams don't slow down enough to figure out whether they're solving the right problem. They just jump into execution mode, and then they call it traction. But motion is not progress. And if you've ever sprinted through a quarter and realized that you accomplished nothing that truly moved the business forward, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So you are not alone. We're all in this together, okay? At the heart of this is a very simple truth. Activity is not value. Being busy is not a strategy. And when clarity only shows up when someone has the courage to pause the chaos and ask, hey, what are we really doing here? That question alone could actually save companies millions of dollars because it rarely gets asked. Because once we've committed to a course of action, we don't want to admit that we are wrong. We don't want to, disappoint our stakeholders. I get it. We don't want to look like we didn't think it through, even if we had tried, or maybe we didn't. So we power through instead of slowing down. And we end up with initiatives that never actually connect systems. They don't talk to each other. The teams end up feeling burned out, blamed for a direction that they never even understood in the first place. I'm just going to say it. AI's actually only made this worse, not better. Not because it's bad. AI is great in its own right. But because AI is amplifying everything underneath it. And so if your strategy is unclear, AI will just make you faster at failing. If your team is misaligned, AI will deepen the divide. And if your processes are bloated, AI will automate all of the clutter to AI slop. So the companies that are scaling the right way aren't just investing in tools. They're investing in, you guessed it, clarity. They're mapping their business questions before they shop for solutions. They're translating strategy into outcomes before they're asking for automation. They're teaching their teams how to think before teaching them how to prompt. Yeah, prompting's an AI thing. That is the difference. Clarity isn't just a communication issue at all. It's a leadership discipline. And most of us avoid it because, it requires a tremendous and extreme amount of ownership, to quote Jocko. You can't blame your team for being confused if you, as the leader, never clarified the mission. You can't blame your systems for breaking down if you never defined how they were supposed to work together. I mean, that makes sense. You can't blame the outcome if the goalposts weren't ever actually clear. Can't kick that field goal if you don't have goalposts. And let's be honest, we actually have all been here. Again, you are not alone. We are in this together. We thought the rollout was clean. We thought the vision was obvious. We thought that our enthusiasm was enough. And then we realized that half the team actually had no idea what success actually looked like. So, drum roll, there's great news. As always, you know how I'm going to be. Clarity is always recoverable. Clarity is always recoverable. That's such good news. But it starts with humility and not performative humility. And we all hate that. But real ownership, extreme ownership, saying to your team, I moved too fast. I didn't explain this well. I didn't bring you in early enough. That is not weakness. That is leadership, because it opens the door for collaboration and it gives people the safety to say, I don't get it either. And that's where the rebuild really begins, not with better tech at all, but with better trust. So how do you rebuild clarity in this noisy AI, noisy, fast-paced, moving company situation? Okay, first, start with your customers. You stop writing strategy in isolation and then asking people that you serve, hey, what do you think that actually matters to you? What's actually working for you? Hey, what's missing? Again, these are to your customers. Hey, why are we valuable to you? And then you take that language and you bring it on the inside. You build a system that reflects what your customers are actually saying. You create scorecards that can reinforce it. You align your tech around it, because clarity always starts on the outside of the boardroom. So how? How do you rebuild clarity in a noisy, fast-moving company that has AI and all these things? Okay, first, start with your customers. You stop writing strategy in isolation and you start asking the people that you actually serve. Hey, what do we do that actually really matters to you? What's working for you? Hey, is there anything that's missing here? Why are we valuable to you? You take all of that language and then you bring it inside. You build systems that actually reflect what your customers are saying, create scorecards that actually reinforce it. And then you align your tech around it. And then you align your tech around it, okay? Because clarity always starts on the outside, never in the boardroom, but actually out in the field, okay? Second, you look at your internal tools and not just see if they're working, but see if actually if anyone's understands them. Clarity means asking, is this system helping the team to move forward, or is it actually just over-engineered and slowing them down? Do they know how to actually use it? Uh, do they know why it exists? Do they know how it connects to the bigger goal that you guys have as a mission of your company? Because if they don't, it doesn't matter how powerful it is. Never does. You don't get points for building something that no one understands just because it seems cool. Third, you shift from proving yourself to enabling others. Yes, we shift away from just proving ourselves to enabling others. That's one of the most important mindset, changes that happens as a company scales. You move from being the person who has all the answers to simply the person that creates clarity for others to find them. That's the job now. Do you hear me? That's the job now. Not doing the work, not driving the results, creating the structure and the alignment that makes results repeatable without you. Yeah, that's exactly what clarity is. It's not just a message, it's an operating system. So lastly, you get real about what's at stake. Get real. This isn't about having cleaner dashboards and more elegant workflows. No, not about that at all. This is about growth, period. Growing on purpose. Companies with shared clarity across the mission, the outcomes, the systems, and in the language. Those are 3 times more sustainable to have double-digit growth. 3 times more sustainable to have double-digit growth, not because they're better, okay? I mean, they are better, but because they're aligned, because everyone knows what matters and how to move it forward. And then what happens is momentum becomes exponential. You stop wasting time on reworking things. You stop losing deals on confusion, and you stop burning out your best people on projects that they actually don't believe in. And instead, you build a culture where people move with purpose and where they know what to do and they know why it matters. Whew, why it matters. That's the power of clarity. Okay. This is not a buzzword. Really is not. It might sound like it, not a buzzword, but it's a discipline. So if things feel really noisy right now, they probably do. If your systems are lagging, your teams are scattered, and your initiatives aren't sticking, don't double down on action. Do not. Step back. Create clarity, because that's the real differentiator. In this next chapter of AI-enabled growth, it's not who's faster, it's who's clearer. Thanks for listening to this episode of Dataliction Essentials, okay? For your next step, schedule a 10-minute call with me and my team, okay? Just 10 minutes to see if you're on the right track with AI adoption, clarity, all that. And guess what? If not, we might have something to help you grow your company on purpose.